Mike here for Scuderia Audio, and today we're going to install some mid-range and tweeters in a Ferrari 360. Specifically, we're going to install these Arc Audio Black Series. They're Arc Audio's top-of-the-line mid-range and tweeter set. Let's take a look inside this kit and see what we have. Okay, so we have our 5 1/4 inch mid-range. We have a wooden adapter plate, which we won't be using. We have the speaker grill and the outer ring that holds the speaker grill. I might want to take a minute and show you how to remove this speaker grill because I didn't know how to do it. I was scared. I didn't want to break it. I actually had to call up the car audio store and they had to ask one of their installers. But what you basically do is you need to hold on to this outer ring, and then with your thumb you just go inside and put your thumb on the edge of the mesh, and you need to just push out. It takes a little bit of a force, but it does pop out of there. And then when you go to put it back, all those little squares, holes, you just basically line them up with these tabs, and you just work it back into there. Okay, the passive crossover networks, and then the tweeters. Very nice 1-inch silk dome tweeters. They come with this little ring, but if you pop this ring off, you'll see this is so cool. If you take one of the black plastic triangles that come off the A-pillar on a Ferrari 360 Spider coupe or a 430 Spider and coupe, they're all the same piece. Watch how this tweeter, I mean, it just drops right into this hole like it was made for it. So we basically epoxy the tweeters into some brand new black plastic triangles that I purchased from the dealer, and voila! You just basically pop out your black triangle piece and then you replace it with these. Now, with the mid-range, I had to have these adapter plates manufactured. My brother's machinist. We have these laser cut and precision holes drilled, and then he TIG welds some fasteners, some nuts to the back for the speaker to bolt into. These things aren't cheap, but man, do they make it easy. Simple to install the mid-range. So in fact, when you receive your kit from Scuderia Audio, what I basically do is I bolt the outer ring, which the outer rings, they're modified a little bit on the top. I'll get into why that is during the actual part of the video where it shows the installation. But I just take some fasteners and I bolt the outer ring to the adapter plate, and then I just snap this grill into the ring so that when you pull this out of the box you can look at it and you can see how exactly it's supposed to put together in the car. These are a match set. They're opposites of each other, both the outer ring and the stainless mounting plates. So I just mark them: passenger side, driver side. So by the time you get this stuff out to the car, it's a breeze to install. So let's go out and play with the car. Okay, so first we're going to remove our little black triangle piece that houses the tweeter, so we can replace it with a similar one with the new Arc Audio tweeter. So we just take our smooth butter knife and very carefully just get it back in here behind so we can gently pull outward on the top and then out and straight up, because there's two little tabs on the bottom and it pops right out. And you kind of pull the wire out and you press on that little tab on the top and it unplugs. Now we take our new triangle piece with our Arc Audio Black Series tweeter and basically just reverse the steps. Don't forget to plug in the speaker wire. We won't do that here. But you basically just take your two tabs, set them down first, then take your butter knife to make sure that this rubber gasket remains on the outside, and then just kind of gently work it in. Keep your eye on the gasket and push it in. Okay, now that we've completed the tweeter, now we work on replacing the mid-range. So first we have to remove this silver trim piece. So there's 3 Allen head machine screws here, 3 surrounding the speaker. There's 2 small ones underneath this rubber, and there's 2 underneath. So let's start by removing these 2. All you really have to do is just temporarily hold this rubber gasket up and just get in there with your Allen wrench. Reach in there and remove both of these. Then go underneath, remove, there's one about here, and there's one back here. Then you take your 3mm Allen and just start systematically removing these machine screws. After you have removed the last of the machine screws, you should be able to just grab this silver piece and just gently lift it straight out. Now you just get your Phillips screwdriver and reach in there and just remove the 3 Phillips head screws holding the OEM mid-range in place. Disconnect the wire. Get him out of the way. Save the 3 Phillips head screws because we're going to use those in a minute. Okay, so you take your adapter plate that came with your kit. These are laser cut stainless steel adapter rings with the nuts TIG welded onto the back. So you take a little mark that indicates the very bottom. Now this mark is just a reference mark I use for R&D. That won't be on your car. But you just basically want to point this mark to the 6 o'clock position straight down. So you just put it in there, you line it up, then you take those 3 Phillips screws that you just took out, and you use those, the same mounting locations. And then you fasten this to the car. Now, if we look at our silver trim piece, this hole here, specifically the diameter of the hole. Now, if we take our Arc Audio grill, you'll see that it's raised up at a certain outside diameter. Now, if we take this and put it in here, you can see that, I mean, it just fits in there perfect like it was made for it. Let's take a look behind. You see that? However, if you take the grill and you snap it into this outer ring that it comes with, when you put it back here, it doesn't fit. You see? Because there's a little section of this outer ring that's just too high. So this won't fit correctly with this outer ring, like this. So let me pop this guy out. So what I had to do, I just had to trim a section off the top of this outer ring. It doesn't look pretty, but you know what? No one's ever going to see this. It's always going to be inside here. So, if I pop this one into this trimmed ring, then it still fits perfectly. So that's basically why the rings that you see in your kit are trimmed at the top. Then you take your ring that we looked at earlier. Now this will have a mark on it also in here, down here, and you also line that up to the 6 o'clock position. So you just slide that under there and you slide it in there, and you basically line up the 4 holes to the 4 holes in the stainless adapter plate. Then you take your mid-range, you put that in there. It's a little bit tricky to get in there, it's really tight, but just keep working with it. And it'll drop in. Then you take your 4 Allen head machine screws that came with your kit, and then you take the same 3mm Allen that you use to remove the silver trim piece, and you just start bolting the speaker in. Now once you finished tightening up those 4 fasteners, then you want to get your grill, your wire mesh, and just make sure that the logo is again down here at the 6 o'clock position. Just slide it up under here and just work your way around. Make sure all the little tabs are inside the outer ring. And it just pops right in there. Then you want to take your silver trim piece and start up here in the back. Just kind of put it at a little angle to make sure it gets up underneath the rubber gasket, and then gently work your way down. Set it into place. Start a couple fasteners. Finish tightening the rest of the fasteners. Now, a lot of people end up stripping these out. You don't have to tighten them very tight. Just, just a little bit finger tight is really all you need for these guys. Finish tightening up these guys. And you can see the grill fits perfect inside this hole. Very professional. Looks sharp. And that's about it. Now, if you own a 430, you might want to watch this last part. With the 430, the tweeter replacement is the exact same thing. It uses the same black plastic triangle. You pop the old ones out, you pop the new ones in. With the mid-range, it's even easier. On the 360, you bolt the stainless adapter plate to the door card, then you bolt the trim piece and the speaker in, and you pop the mesh on. With the 430, the 430 has this piece, it's kind of like an adapter plate, and this bolts onto the door card. So all you have to do is unbolt this, we'll take the mid-range out off of this, and then you unbolt this from the door card, and then you're free to bring this into your garage, bolt on another adapter plate that we send along with the kit for the 430. You bolt the mid-range onto that adapter plate, and then you take this whole unit with the adapter plate and the mid-range bolted to it, and you bring it back out to your car, and you just bolt this back onto your door card, and you're good to go. So that's it. Have a good day.